Hey, what's happening, friends? Let's talk a little bit about asset protection. You know that Nelson Rockefeller teaches own nothing, control everything. He doesn't mean own nothing and be happy like what these elites are telling us is going to happen by 2030. What he means is that wealthy people do not own their assets. Listen, folks, the way that this country is built, it's all built on ownership, right? They tell you the American dream is you got to own a home, you got to own some cars, get married, right? And have all these things that you own. And then it's like keeping up with the Joneses, right? Got to have a nicer car and a nicer house. That is literally the trap that's keeping you trapped in the slave system. You cannot own your own assets. And you might be saying, well, hey, Josh, well, how do I have assets if I don't own them? You need to have a private trust. The Supreme Court has ruled that a spendthrift trust is not a creature of legislature. Therefore, it is not subject to the myriad of rules and regulations set forth by the legislature. The Supreme Court has ruled that when you operate out of a spendthrift trust, the assets are separate from the trustee and the beneficiaries. That means that if you happen to have the right trust structure, you can sell your business, your vehicles, your home, land, any other assets you have, stocks, cryptocurrency, your LLCs, where they are now separate from you, the trustee. Meaning if somebody wanted to sue you, they cannot go after the spendthrift trust. And if everything that you sold to this trust, which is your estate, was done so legally, meaning you weren't in a lawsuit or a judgment or a divorce, it is irrevocable and no court can undo it, and no court has legal jurisdiction to penetrate your trust. You may say, well, Josh, how do you know this works? Well, because we just litigated one of our trusts 3 times and the trust held. Why? Because the judge agreed that the assets are separate from the trustee when it is set up and structured legally. Folks, listen, go back and watch my content. We are living in a world where you need a private trust. If you're operating a business right now out of your name or out of any government entity, you are paying taxes that you don't need to pay, and you're creating liabilities that you don't need. Click the link in my bio. We'll show you how.